welcome back to my channel. This is Dom and one of my semi-regular updates on gaming, painting and collecting. Hope you enjoy. So yeah, it's been a busy few weeks. Managed to get back into some painting and I'll show you some of those in a minute, but also got some good games in, which has been fantastic. So on the gaming front, Jono and I have been working our way through this book. I showed this once before. I'll put a link if I remember how to do it. This is called Let's Fight Leipzig, Wargaming the Battle of Nations by Stephen Shan. And it's a brilliant little book. It's kind of rule system agnostic. Well, it's sort of set up to do something like General Dame or Grand Manor games, but it's very easily converted. In fact, they give you the stats to change the units into black powder, which is great, which is what we've been playing a lot of. And we've been doing a lot of 15mm campaigns from this. We had one a few weeks ago, which was great fun. Went to the wire. That was, I can't even pronounce it. Yeah, that one. And then last week we played Wachau, W-A-C-H-A-U, which was 16th of October. And it was a really good game. It was, I have to confess, I picked it because I thought it looked a reasonably sized game, but I didn't realise most of the regiments had like 2 or 3 battalions in them, so it became quite a big game. I made it worse by the fact Jonathan was a little late getting there. Well, in fact, he was very late getting to the club because of work and traffic. And also we got a little bit interrupted in the middle of the day, middle of the game, because it's a club night and you want to chat to people and have a look at their games. But anyway, we didn't get many turns in, but it was a real brutal game, and I think we would love to play that again. I may put the video up. It's fun, but we only really got 3 or 4 turns in, and yeah, it's just frustrating. We got so close and then had to stop. Anyway, what can you do? Also, I went up to Suffolk, Bury St Edmunds, very close, well, just outside Bury St Edmunds, for Naptemda, which was a sort of a charitable meetup. One of the guys goes by the name of Glendur on YouTube. Set up a Sunday gaming, and Martin, 7th Son, was there. I drove over. Miller from Miller's Miniatures was there. A couple of other folks were there. And we had a couple of very big Napoleonic games, which was great. And Martin and I took the opportunity to have a game against each other, because I don't think we've ever had a game together. We played sort of against each other once down at Farnborough in a Dead Man's Hand game, but we were at different ends of the table and never really got involved, although I gunned down one of his main men. But anyway, that's by the by. But we had the opportunity to play a proper game, which was great. As is Martin's way, there was no points. It was just, that'll do, that'll do. I took control of the French and Allies because I put my Württembergers along, beautiful figures painted by Sean Bryant for me some time ago. So I wanted to use them. So I had a brigade of their infantry and a brigade of cavalry. And Martin had some French and lots of French allies, which I felt better about using. And he used the British forces, so he had a couple of British brigades. He had a British cavalry brigade and he had a Hanoverian brigade. It was a very fun game. We played 6 turns. At the end of the day, just let's say that it was very one-sided, the result. The French got off the board very, very quickly. I think the first turn, my cavalry charged halfway, or the entire way across the table, smashed into his cavalry. After quite a tussle, actually, they stuck around for a fair bit and managed to rout his whole brigade of cavalry off the table, which then allowed me to swing round a bit and put his centre into squares. Meanwhile, my centre had pushed up, got 3 moves off in the first go, and despite his best efforts of trying to push me back, including using the Coldstream arms, which were humiliated by Italian infantry and destroyed, he just couldn't push me back. On his other flank, he was trying to attack with his Hanoverians, and my Württembergs were in a built-up area, series of 3 built-up areas, which I have to say Martin put there, so it was his fault. And he just couldn't get them moving. When he did get them moving, they went in solitary against built-up areas. That was never going to go well. So long and short of it, it was about 36, 37 points to 8 in victory points for the French and Allies. Well, mainly, we'll say Allies and French, because there weren't that many French there. But it was great fun. It's not often you get a chance to play 28mm with, what do we have? 3 infantry brigades and a cavalry brigade each side, which was good fun. And nice to have a game against Martin. What else? This week, I'm probably, after this video goes out, we're planning to have another game in Black Powder Napoleonics down at the club. I think this time it'll be Paul and Tony, Jonathan and I. Not sure the teams yet, but I think Jonathan's got some Austrians he wants to try out. I know Tony always likes to use his Prussians, so I may be French again. Who knows? Maybe this is a new Dom. So watch out for that one. I'll take the camera along. If it's not too busy and it's not too intrusive, I'll take some video of that and share it with you good folks later on. Anyway, that's games. Let's have a look at some of the painting. So this time around, painting's a bit of an eclectic mix, showing my various interests at the moment. So first up, this is a unit of, well, they are being modelled as Russian Opolchany Moscow Militia for 1812 Black Powder Napoleonics. Can't think of the words there. Now, I've talked about this before on an earlier video, apparently, and I never knew this until I was starting to read up a bit more on the period, but the Prussian landwehr that these are actually figures for, from warlords, were modelled on the Opolchany, or the militia, from 1812. The Prussians were so impressed with the guts and determination of the Russian people to throw the French out of their country that they modelled the landwehr uniform on them. And so actually just taking Prussian landwehr figures from warlords like these, you can use them as Russians as well, which is what I've done. I've also taken a bit of artistic license. Traditionally, the story about the Opolchany is that they were rebel roused by priests in Moscow to come forward and repel the French, and they came forward with all sorts of equipment. Initially, it was just pitchforks and pike and that kind of stuff. And then as muskets became available, they were given them. So I've taken the liberty of putting a priest in front. Now, double liberty, he's actually a Greek Orthodox priest rather than a Russian Orthodox priest, but he was a figure and I liked it. He is from, I think it's Old Man Miniatures, who do a whole range of Greek and Ottoman figures. Unfortunately, you have to buy them from, I think they come in from Greece, so you have to take the vagaries of post, or if you're lucky, Carl at Mezza's Miniatures may well still have a few of the range. He used to sell them in the UK, but sadly he's shutting down his shop. But I know he's getting rid of what stock he's got. So anyway, there you go. A long story about an Opolchany unit. Painted them just with the sort of greeny colour. Brown, grey trousers, and just kept it really simple. I'm really pleased with how they came, actually. They've come out pretty well. So that's a unit down. So this is a unit of, well, I'm going to use them as epic. They are actually 15mm villagers or peasants or whatever. They're a bit more than peasants because some of them have got quite fancy outfits on. But in some of the army lists for 30-year war, you can have a unit of peasants as a sort of war bandy effect, which is what I've done with these. So this is actually 4 elements. The base size is a double the width of a normal one. They are figures from, oh god, I'm going to get it wrong now, Magister Militarium. So they are true 15mm. Which, as I've showed, they fit in pretty well with the epic scale because they're on the smaller side of what you expect nowadays for 15mm. And they're nice little figures, actually. It's a shame Magister Militarium are apparently up for sale. The couple who run the business are looking to retire. So I don't know how long these figures will be available. But I bought a few packs to bulk out my 30U War figures, and they do fit very nicely indeed. And just to show that again, this is a unit of horse holders, again from Magister Militarium. I've got a few of them. This was more of a test paint, I guess, to see how they came out, and I really like them. I'm planning to have a unit of horse holders for every unit of dragoons, so that when they dismount, I can place that behind the infantry figures and show that they are the dragoons, and potentially they could remount and continue their movement around the table. Nice little figures. They're metal, obviously, and pretty simple to do. So that's another one done. And while we're talking about epic, this is another pike and shot regiment. These are all epic plastics. Painted them as just standard imperial foot. I deliberately painted the pike grey, and now I'm not sure whether I like it or not. I might repaint them because it kind of makes it look like I've forgotten to paint them, and I haven't. I just did paint them grey, just to add a bit of variety. I like to do the pikes in slightly different colours. It helps the identification of the unit as much as anything else as well. But I don't know. Tell me what you think. I might redo them. Kept it really simple, as I always do with these epic figures. I mean, they're tiny figures, and you're going to be looking at them from 3 foot away anyway. And it's more the mass effect that I'm looking for. So, yeah, another one done. And some more epic figures. This is one of the heavier batteries. I think it's actually a medium culver. Again, epic Warlord plastic. Supporting a unit of Imperial Cuirassiers. Again, largely Warlord plastic. There is two Peter Pig figures in there. The guy with the bugle in the front rank, and one of the Cuirassiers in the second rank are Peter Pig figures, metals. Everything else are epics. Again, the frustration I have with these figures is they're brilliant side on, but frontally they're very basic sculpts, which is a shame, really. And also, you only get 2 varieties of Cuirassiers in the boxes. I know Warlords said at Warlords Open Day that they're planning to do bespoke unit of Cuirassiers, but can't wait. Can't wait. Anyway, another unit done. They'll join the Imperial forces. And I keep saying it, I'll have time for a battle soon. I'll have figures for the battle soon. I have got enough figures for a battle, I just haven't had time to do one yet. So hopefully next week I might be able to get one underway. I hope so. We'll see. If real life eases off, it should be fine. There you go. Another unit and a gun done. So these couple of weeks I seem to have alternated epic with 28mm figures, and I don't know why, but I just have. So this is a unit of French middle guard for the Napoleonic period. They are Victrix plastics. I bought a bag of Victrix middle guards some months ago. I think it was in the Black Friday sales. They were doing them off, and I thought, yeah, I could do with a few French guards to go with them. I didn't realise actually they're very similar to line infantry, really. It's not an awful lot of difference, but it's good value. You get 60 figures in the bag. So that's enough for 2 24-man battalions. So there's another one that I'll finish off at some point. And 12 sort of skirmishing figures, which is kind of cool. And they weren't too bad. Victrix early Napoleonics can be a bit hit or miss in my book, but I think these aren't too bad at all. Put them together over when we were doing one of the podcasts, so I find it very difficult to paint when we're on the podcast, but assembling models and things and terrain features I kind of find quite good, quite therapeutic while the podcast is on. So anyway, by the by, so I painted these up, dead simple. Mixture of, they're all in greatcoats, which always makes it a lot easier to paint Napoleonics. Had a variety of colours. It seemed like predominantly they had blue grey coats, but or greatcoats, but I mixed in some greys and tans and all sorts, just a bit, give a bit of variety. Now, someone asked on the stream when I showed these painted, but without flags, what flags I was going to put on them, because I didn't realise it's very difficult to find Napoleonic middle guard flags. Or at least I couldn't find them. So in the end, I just took liberties, and these are just old guard flags put on them, because I wanted. You can't have your French without some kind of flag support, can you? So yeah, a few liberties taken with the flags. Somebody will now say, "Oh, you could have got them from X, Y, Z," but anyway, doesn't matter. So the unit's done. I've got another one to paint up, as I say, and some skirmishers, and they're fairly quick and easy to do. So good sort of to break up the epic painting. So job done. And then next up, just to show that there's just huge amount of variety in what I'm painting, these are 15mm Second World War German armoured cars. I think they are 231s. The 8-wheeler variety, obviously, the guy up front has the radio option. These are Plastic Soldier Company kits. Nice simple kits to put together. You get a couple of varieties within the box, which is nice. You get 5 vehicles, so I've done these as 231s, and I've kept them sort of early war camo, early mid-war. Well, didn't really have camo, but the sort of grey effect, which I kind of like. Keeps it dead simple. So 2 more join the German armies. I played a game of O Group and I realised it didn't have any armoured cars for the Germans. I think in that it was one of the smaller armoured cars that I needed, but I didn't even have any armoured cars. So when I saw the box in the pile of opportunity, I thought I'd paint them up, just because if I ever had to use them for another game, even if they're not the right variety of armoured car, they obviously look like armoured cars other than the small tank, which is what I had to use. So job done. And so the other 2 in the pack I developed as the 75 support versions. They're open turreted, as you can see. They have a short 75mm sort of howitzer gun on them, yeah, again, fairly simple to do. The hardest bit actually with these is getting the crews to position in the open top turret. For some reason, the guy who's got his hand on his headphones sort of had one foot sort of raised, but I couldn't see anywhere to sort of connect it to. And when you're trying to stick it with super glue into the inside of a turret ring, it was a bit tricky. So you can see the guy, one of them sort of leaning over a bit, like he's sort of, what do you say, sir? Whereas the other one's a bit more upright. They look fine. I'm not bothered. So there you go. 2 more vehicles joining the German Second World War 15mm O Group armies. So next up, some terrain. So these are bizarre things. These are supposed to be haystacks. They are resin prints. I have no idea where I picked them up. But I've had them on the pile of opportunity for quite a while. I've got another load, smaller ones, sort of this sort of size, that will probably work quite well with 15mm. Yeah. And then the bigger ones here. So painted up, what's that, 3, 6, 8 of them. There's probably about the same number to go. I just sprayed them a sort of a sandy colour, and then just dry brushed them and put wash over them and dry brush them again. Dead simple. Might be quite easy. It might look quite good on the table. We'll see. Maybe it's just a complete frivolous waste of money. Who knows? And these finally are a couple of buildings that I bought. They are 15mm for set for the English Civil War. They are Magister Militarium again. When I was buying some packs, I saw these. I thought, you know, a bit more period buildings would be useful on the table. They're dead simple. Just, you know, say resin resin models, and they're easy to do. Just basically they've got all the sort of humps and bumps that you need for things like contrast paints and washes to work really well, and then a dry brush over the top to sort of accentuate the grain effects of the wood. And they'll be fine. Again, 3 foot rule. They're just going to sit in the table somewhere, and they'll be absolutely fine for doing that job. And I'm quite pleased how they've come out. So there you go, some more 15mm terrain. So plenty of painting been going on, which is great. I've just about worked my way through the pike and shot box. Well, actually not true. I've got a few more sprues. I can just see them behind the camera over there. But what I'm finding is doing a unit, whatever it may be, group of figures, a sprue at a time, and then interspersing it with other things like you've just seen the 28mm infantry or Napoleonics, some 15mm Second World War, is keeping the mojo going, and I'm really enjoying it. On the purchasing front, I'd like to say I've been good, but I haven't. So I don't know why, but well, I do, because I fell in love with the figures. So I bought the 0200 Desert Raid expansion set, plus an extra box of little figures, mainly on the basis of these beautiful metal figures. Yeah, I mean, what can I say? North Star were doing quite a good deal on this as a pre-order. So I bought it. I have got the base set, but I've not even unboxed it. So it's a bit frivolous. But I have to say, the desert one appeals to me more than the standard one. So we'll see. And I know there's some solo rules out now, which I know Martin, Seventh Son, always goes on about. Always has a go at me when I say I think it's more of a single player game, but I know he's played quite a lot of solo games with it. Played a lot of double games with it. To me, it feels like a solo game, and that's where I'm excited about doing it as. So I will download the solo variant from the website and have a go at that at some point. But metal figures never go off, right? So that's them. Also picked up some new tufts. So I use a lot of tufts on my figures. Well, not on the figures. I'm not a heathen like Steve. I use a lot on the bases. So from time to time, I will buy. You can buy on Amazon a big tub of tufts. There's literally hundreds of them in a tub for like 15-20 quid, and it's such good value. But they are very uniform, and they're sort of, you get big ones and small ones, but there's not an awful lot of variety in there. So I like to intersperse them with other tufts. Now Tajima, you can buy them on eBay. They probably have a website as well. In fact, they do. There you go. Tajima1.co.uk, if you can see that. They do some lovely tufts. Now, they're not the cheapest in the book, but they are very good. So there's some standard ones there. This is Moorland. Oops. These are slightly bigger ones. I've got 2 of the Moorlands, and then I've got 2 tall flower tufts, which I love. I think these are fantastic. Look at those. So as I say, just to put mainly on the bigger bases, or like artillery bases or cavalry bases. I've got some of these bigger ones to do. So I bought those fairly recently. So I also, I'm blaming Ken for this. I picked up a couple more of the conflict buildings because we were doing one of the streams, Plastic Crack streams, was around pre-painted figures, and I thought I don't really use pre-painted figures, but I do use these, and conflict buildings are very reasonable. I think this is like £12, £15 or something for this, and it goes across multiple periods. You can this can be medieval through to, well, Napoleonic probably. I mean, a barn like that you could use right up until Second World War, really. And they're so good value, and I've got quite a few already, but I just picked up a couple more just to add in, so that I've got a few more buildings if I want to build a town or something, or a series of different built up areas in some of my games. So I picked up those. So I think that's everything. I'm sure there was something else, but I've forgotten what it is that I picked up. But anyway, doesn't matter. Anyway, that's it for now. Hope you're enjoying your games. Hope you're enjoying the hobby, whether you're a painter, gamer, collector, whatever you may be. Hope it's going well for you, and stay safe, stay well. Keep hitting that subscribe button, share button, all that good stuff. Let me know in the comments down below what you're working on at the moment, and I will see you again soon. This is Dom, signing out.